And the privilege list continues to grow. We know about white privilege, and we know about male privilege, but now we must learn about Christian privilege. George Washington University hosted a workshop last week to discuss the ever-present Christian privilege. The diversity training was held by the Multicultural Student Services Center with the purpose to teach participants how Christians receive unmerited perks from institutions and systems all across our country. The facilitator of the training said that as a white Christian male, he had to acknowledge his privilege and keep it in mind throughout the conversation. This is according to Emma Schindel, a sophomore political communication major who attended the training. Schindel told Healthy Republic that she wanted to understand the purpose of the seminar and how the MSSC defined Christian privilege. During the presentation, she was told that 3 privileges Christians receive are related to safety, assumption of Christian majority, and access to spiritual spaces. This is what I want to focus on. You can read the Healthy Republic article for more details about the seminar, but these 3 points from the seminar are worth discussing. Number 1, Christians are privileged because they feel safer. There are 2 ways to look at this. Yes, Christians feel safer because we do not actively promote or behave in such a way that enacts violence against others, and we find comfort knowing our Father protects us. At the same time, Christians are not privileged by feeling safe in proclaiming their faith. It is clear that this facilitator has never heard of a man named Paul or learned about the 215 million Christians who are persecuted around the world for following Jesus Christ. Christians who live in North Korea, Afghanistan, and Pakistan are beaten, imprisoned, raped, and even killed for believing in the Christian faith. Within our own borders, we see small business owners forced to close their doors because they hold to their beliefs. Our vice president continues to be scorned and ridiculed for his devotion. And numerous other instances of the Christian faith are being mocked, even by said believers, including late-night host Stephen Colbert. It must be remembered that persecuted and privileged are 2 big words that mean very different things. Number 2, there is an assumption that Christians are the majority, and therefore there's privilege. Well, that's a fact. And this country absolutely, positively, with an extra heck to the yeah, was influenced by Christian principle in morality, with our founders faithfully following God, Providence, the Almighty Creator, whichever name they called him. And for the 99th time, the separation of church and state came years after the Constitution in a private letter from Thomas Jefferson to the Danbury Baptists. This country remains majority Christian, and there are more than 2 billion Christians around the world. Yet with this majority does not come privilege. As a society, we are doing all we can to remove God from everyday life by bending and perverting truth. The simple fact that this diversity training was held demonstrates this point. We cannot have the Bible in the classroom, and we are trying to take out other books that were created with inspiration from the Bible. More persecution, less privilege. Number 3, Christians are privileged because they have access to spiritual spaces. I'm not even sure on the meaning of this point. A true spiritual space resides in the heart and therefore can be wherever you are at the time. Isn't that what we are being told by our college campuses? But for those who need physical spaces, we have put those everywhere on the college campus now too. They are the ever sought after safe spaces, complete with puppies, crayons, and bubbles. Those are the spiritual spaces we now create. Where's the Christian privilege in that? Remember that it was George Washington University who hosted the Christian Privilege Diversity Training. The George Washington once said in a Thanksgiving proclamation, "It is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor." What a privilege it is to have George Washington to look upon as a wise reminder every day on the GWU campus. I'm Katie, and until next time, stay privileged and stay healthy, America.